This dispatcher heard a desperate 911 call from a mom, and went far beyond her job description. On January 22, 2018, the police in Camden County, New Jersey, received a phone call. On the other end of the line was a worried mother in need of help. In response, 911 dispatcher Donla Bagby went miles beyond what was expected of her to provide assistance. It soon became apparent to Bagby, the dispatch supervisor, that the woman was desperate and starving. She had no service on her phone, so she had been left with calling the emergency services as her only option. Bagby is a mom herself, so she was able to stand in the caller's shoes and visualize herself in her situation. "I think what she did was just what she had to do," said Bagby. Regardless of her situation and how hard it might be to ask for help, she did her job as a mother, to get help for her kids. But the mother's emergency was unlike most. Sadly, she had no food to give her children, and they had not eaten anything since the day before. While the mother sounded composed over the phone, what she said touched Bagby. "All I wanted to know. If I could get some type of assistance," the mother had told the dispatcher. "I need somebody to come out. I have been trying to find food for my children. My kids have not eaten since yesterday. I'm waiting for my food stamps to come." On hearing the mom's distress, Bagby was overcome with emotion. "It was heartbreaking," she said to WMFY News 2. So in response to the call, she sent fellow officer David Hinton out to investigate. Above and beyond that, Bagby wanted to help further. She gave Hinton her personal number so he could update her on what he found at the woman's home. Consequently, Hinton went over to the woman's apartment, ready to share what he found. When Hinton got there, he saw 4 hungry children who were between 2 and 9 years old. "I went inside and found a single mom and 4 kids in a 1-bedroom apartment," he said. The mother then explained that she couldn't provide for her children. However, while the little ones were hungry, they were still thrilled to see a police officer. Hinton was pleased at the reception, but presumably less happy to find the cupboards empty. He updated Bagby, who then instructed him to order pizzas. Rather than that, Hinton decided to take the family to McDonald's. Finally, the kids were able to fill their bellies with food he got for them. But the dispatcher wasn't satisfied with providing just one meal. She knew she could give them much more. "All day, I was thinking about the long term, like, yes, they have food now, but what about tomorrow, next week, next month?" said Bagby. Soon she had come up with a plan to help their family further. Amazingly, Bagby intended to go to the single mother's apartment by herself after work. But when she let her mom Tracy Seigel know her plan, she met some opposition. Seigel, who also works for Camden County Police as a sergeant, expressed her concern about how unsafe the crime-ridden neighborhood would be for Bagby. As an alternative, Seigel passed the hat round her colleagues, who threw some dollars in. She and Bagby took what they donated and added their own money, so that the dispatcher ended up with enough to buy 10 sacks of groceries from local supermarkets. According to Seigel, Bagby's actions were no surprise. She described her daughter Bagby as being warm with a giving heart. Although Bagby is not rich, she was willing to use what she had to help. With 10 bags of food and her mom for backup, Bagby went to the single mom's apartment. The mother answered the door, and all the kids were lined up behind her. She was so grateful and appreciative, and the kids were so excited, Bagby recalled. "It made my heart smile." Remarkably, Bagby wasn't alone in thinking more could be done for the needy family. The police department went on to provide the mother with a delegate to help with social services. It turns out that this good deed was nothing out of the ordinary for Camden County Police. Spokesman Dan Keeshan told WFMY News 2, "The officers do things like this all the time. Even so, their generosity did not go unnoticed, and the department named Seigel and Hinton Officers of the Week. However, those who helped remained humble and believed that they had simply done their duty. We're there to protect and serve," Seigel said. "And serve in every sense. We're police officers, but we're human beings first." Nevertheless, Seigel is overjoyed with her daughter's actions. "It pulls at my heartstrings as a mother to know my daughter is so passionate about helping people," she said to WFMY News 2 proudly. And she wasn't alone in being touched by Bagby's compassion. Thanks to the efforts of the Camden County Police, the hungry family went on to thrive and were doing fine after the call to the cops sparked an act of kindness. Please share this inspiring story with your friends and family and subscribe our channel for more.